What's up, guys? It's Zachy J, and today we are going to be talking about how spirituality can get you out of your comfort zone. It's one of the few things, and it's one of the biggest ways that you get in your own way, and that's by staying in your comfort zone. And spirituality can bust you out of there, okay? And before we start though, let me ask one thing. Give the channel a like and subscribe. It will help out the algorithm and help me grow so I can give more quality content straight to you. So without further ado, let's figure out how spirituality can get us out of our comfort zone. Well, first, let's know that when we're on our spiritual journey, what we're actually doing, okay? We are using our spiritual journey to develop our ability to navigate the world without complete sets of information. We're using our spirituality to navigate the world with faith. And what are you going to have faith in? Okay? Well, most people, they start having faith in a higher power, God, Jesus, the Buddha, Vishnu. Doesn't matter. They might start there, but they might realize eventually that where it ends up is that faith, they can give that to themselves. They can trust themselves on impossible missions and impossible paths. And when they trust themselves in this way, it reveals that the world is actually a playground designed for you to develop mastery, and a playground designed for you to live your best life and find your dreams. So when you are tackling faith in yourself, you're actually tapping into your genius, because there are things that only you can see. And those things that only you can see are these targets, these goals. If you're watching this video, you probably know that there's ways this world can become so much better. Not just like a little bit better, but like 10x better. And all it would require is someone just to do some simple things, and then it could finally happen. Well, those simple things are meant to be done by you. They're your path. And you can bring these things to fruition because you have this genius in you. You have these dreams. You have this power. And if you're into manifestation, co-creation, wu-wei, doesn't matter what you want to call it, if you're into these things, what's going to happen is it gives you a foundation which to start moving out into the world with action. And that foundation, as you're moving out into this world of action, starts to bring things that once were you might be apprehensive about, like, oh, I used to be apprehensive about bumping into someone and having a conversation with a person that I might think I'm interested in, right? Or this hobby that, you know, maybe I might look silly if I have to start from a beginner. As a beginner, I have to start this hobby, you know, and I'm going to look like a fool, you know? All that stuff gets washed away when you have such strong faith in yourself and in your story and in your journey and in your genius. You have to develop this so you can consistently grow your comfort zone, expand your comfort zone, and enable the person that you once were to grow out of it. When we were kids, when I was a kid at least, when I would look at the world, there was tons of things that I was like, I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. I don't know how I'll feel if I have to do this new thing, go learn this new topic in school. It didn't matter, all right? It was so caught up on these things. And I realized later on in life, unfortunately, that by exploring that fear and getting out of the comfort zone, do you truly become one unto yourself. And you want to do that as soon as you can. If you're listening to this, you're probably already doing that. But I want you to also do that with this caveat. And this caveat is, even if you're fearful, you can have this sense of courage about you because you know that the universe is actually working in your favor. It doesn't feel like it, right? Especially if you're going through a hard time. But something that people don't want to come to terms with if they're going through a hard time or suffering is how much their higher self might have been protecting them from something, from a fall. Like you might have stubbed your toe, but if you kept going, you might have fallen off a cliff, right? And you want to have this framework that the universe is showing up for you, that your higher self is showing up for you, because that's a framework that creates paths and possibilities. It consistently creates paths and possibilities where most other people would see resistance and obstacles. And they're seeing these resistance and obstacles because the mind is literally a hall of mirrors. I don't know if you notice this, but especially when we've been improving the capacity and the strength of our mind, that's like how the school systems are set up. That's how most things require specialization. It requires your mind to be a high functioning machine, but we're not meant to be machines. If you're meant to just be an algorithmic machine, you would have been born as an ant or any other creature out there that doesn't have the faculties that you have, the infinite imagination that you have, the creativity that you possess, and the beautiful free will, the beautiful, beautiful free will that you have. So you're in a unique position where the universe has already showed up for you, and is like, you could have just been like a praying mantis, where every single time you you found your significant other, you know, if you're a guy, she just ripped off your head and ate it, right? That's a possibility, but we're not that. We're not that. You're a human. You're a beautiful human, and sometimes it seems, because of how the mind is a hall of mirrors, that we're trapped in with no options. But the thing is, if you ever walk through a hall of mirrors, some things that don't look like an exit, that doesn't look like a path, it simply looks like the reflection of the moment, of the environment. And actually, there's nothing blocking you there. And so that's what you have to learn. You have to learn this trust. So if your mind is super strong, eventually your mind can still be that strong. It just contributes to finding your path and staying on it and recognizing you're on your path. So you can recognize you're on your path every single time that you find yourself in a new position that you've never been before, on a new path that you've never been before, that you're learning something. There's still novelty flowing into your life, enriching who you are and allowing you to level up. That is a distinction that, hey, I'm in the place I need to be, and I'm going forth. And this will dissolve the hall of mirrors. This will help you come out of all these reflections that you might have been identifying with. You might have been like, hey, that reflection, that's just me. You know, that reflection, that's just life. That looks like a brick wall, but it might not be a brick wall. It might not be an obstacle. It might just be an illusion. And that's why in all these traditions, the Christianity does not own this one, by the way, of walking on water, right? There's this narrative truth that is at least being presented, even if you don't believe it literally. There's narrative truth that's presented by the story of someone walking on water. That if your faith is strong enough, that the faith will create you. You'll be recreated by your faith, and you'll be able to do impossible things. You'll be able to find yourself in the middle of a storm and still be able to step out onto the crashing waves and find stability, standing directly on the depths and in the heart of chaos. You will be able to find stability and a path forward to your higher self, to the better version of yourself. And you have to stay locked into that path. You have to find it, and you have to breathe life into it. Breathe life into it one step at a time. And one of the easiest ways to do that is if you can turn on your heart, because you're going to need backup. You're going to need allies, right? The mind is a great ally, but we might have been misusing it, right? And the heart, however, is an amazing ally, especially when paired with the mind. So you have to get them working together as soon as possible. You have to have your heart turned on as soon as possible so you can feel your way towards genius. It's okay. You don't need to see everything. Everything doesn't have to be apparent. The water doesn't have to look like you can stand on it. But if your heart can feel it in such a powerful resonance, you might just find out you can do things that were impossible before you, and that might even be impossible after you. But in that moment where you stand, in this moment where you stand right now, if your heart is turned on, it's going to find that path. It's going to beckon you onto it. It's going to say, hey, please take this step. The world needs it. And your heart's going to say, I want this too. I want this for you, so you can experience your dreams. Because there's only one person that can truly bring them to life. And there's only one person that can truly see them. So we need people to extend out of their comfort zone. It's critical that more people do this. We're past the age where everyone is an industrialized cog, okay? We need people to start creating what we've always wanted to create. Higher technologies, higher versions of themselves, without the fear and pure logic that is a constraint. And so if you are on that path, I salute you. It's beautiful. If you're not on that path, well, there's ways you can find it and source it easier, especially if you're using meditation or breath work. It'll help you zoom in and help you turn on your heart so much faster. So I implore you to start today, because, there's no better time to start than now, okay? And it was a pleasure talking with y'all, and I hope to talk to you all again soon, and have a great rest of your day.